So we all know that the charger that comes in the box with the phone, if it does, hashtag Apple, is the best and the fastest charger in most cases. But have you ever wondered if you could measure charging speed in numerical terms from any charger? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to measure charging speed for any charger whatsoever, whether it's USB-C, Type A, doesn't matter if it's a car charger or even a power bank. You can definitely put any charger that claims to be so and so watts, like 18 watts, 25 watts. You can test it out for yourself with very little tools / software required. So there are two ways to actually measure the current that's flowing from the charger to your phone. One of them is a hardware method where you put something in between, say for example a smart charging cable that has a small display, or maybe you can have a USB charger adapter like one I've got here that you can plug in between the charger, the cables, like so. Now, as you would expect, that's the most accurate method of measuring charging current without having to rely on software calculations and phone's ability to report voltage and amperes. But what if you don't want to spend any extra on hardware to measure your charging speed? Well, you're in for a treat. There are 3 different applications that I recommend. We'll start at the bottom. We'll start with Ampere, which is my least favorite of the bunch. It used to be the only app in the industry before all the other apps flooded the Play Store, but it will show the numbers in milliamp hours or milliamps. So for example, it shows 2000 milliamps. That means your phone is charging at 5 volts, 2 amps, that is 10 watts. Next up on the list is Charge Meter, which also shows you a number to verify that how fast your phone is charging. And it's also showing you a dial or a speedometer of sorts. An average user can judge how fast their phone is charging. You can also see your battery temperature and the capacity of the battery as well. In my opinion, for an average user, this is the best application to go for. Now lastly, let's talk about AccuBattery. It is the most scientific and deep learning app. It will let you not only see all the milliamps and voltages that the previous apps did, but it will show you a history of how fast your phone charged from a certain percent to a certain percent, and how fast it was discharging and which apps were the major battery hogs or foreground and background apps. It will also show you your battery health as a percentage. So if you have your battery at say 95%, you're in good health. But if you're close to 80% capacity, maybe it's time to replace your battery because you have been charging it to 100%. It also has a feature called Charge Alarm, which basically sounds an alarm when your battery reaches 80% when charging. That helps you extend the battery life capacity of your phone. In layman terms, it means that your battery will live longer over the period of time, for example 3 to 5 years, instead of if you charge to 100% every night, it will probably die in about 3 years. So that's the overview. Let's do some testing and see which method is the most accurate or which app is the best if you're using software. I will be using the USB charger adapter with a few wall bricks as well as a power bank and my laptop, so you can get an idea of how fast each of these devices generally are. And maybe you can check for yourself with a car charger of some sort before you buy it, or maybe if you have one, you can check it if it's fast enough or worth it to charge your phone. Alright, so let's start. I've got a few chargers here. So I've got an old Samsung power brick, and then I have a power bank which is made by Urban here. It has a couple USB ports and a Type-C in and out. And that's the USB charger adapter itself. It has a USB port up here which goes into the charger, and this is where your cable goes to your phone. Lastly, I'll be testing the USB port on my laptop. This is a USB 3.2 Gen 1 port. The other test scenario is that I would put my phone to roughly 20% battery. You can check it here. It's at about 24%, and then we're gonna do all the tests roughly at that battery level. Lastly, the cable I'll be using is a USB-C cable that came with my Nintendo Switch controller. It's just a standard USB-C and a Type A on the other end. So check it out. Let's start with a worst case scenario. Maybe plug it into your laptop. Probably you'll get the lowest speeds in general unless your laptop has a fast charging port. Recording on the phone as well. Alright guys, I hope you guys can see 5 volts 0.43 amps. Time to open Ampere. It's showing we're at 34 degrees Celsius. USB charger is plugged in. And it shows 180 or 190 milliamps, which is 0.4, so that's basically half. I think it's not accounting for the screen. Let's open up charge meter. Oh, it's AWOL 200, 300, 63. So charge meter is showing much closer to what it is on the charger adapter. It's off by about 60 to 70 milliamps. Alright, let's open Accu battery. Now Accu battery does show all of the current as well, so 300 milliamps, 333, which is similar to the charge meter app. Now let's check discharging. It also shows you the battery health. You can see my battery health is 95% after about 1.5 years of usage. And here are all the details. If I go to history, you can see the charging speed, say 2 to 60. How much time? 1 hour. So that's roughly the charging speed of my bundled charger with my Pixel. But if I were to use this charger, it would take forever. Let's move on to the power bank. So I'm just going to grab the power bank. It's the power bank here. And I'm going to plug that in. Alright. Plugged in. Okay, we're charging at 1.3435 amps. I'm going to try a different port. Let's check the Ampere app. It's measuring 1240. And the power bank is showing, like the USB charger adapter is 1.35. So it's off by about 100 milliamps. Let's go charge meter. And that's close. 1362. And this one is showing 1350. Roughly accurate. Accu battery. Showing pretty similar numbers to the charge meter. So yeah, I guess the testing says it all. Alright, last device, the Samsung charger. I'm gonna have to move the camera. Alright, so we're plugged into the Samsung charger. Seems like we're limited to 1.34 amps by any other charger other than the one that came with the factory charger, which charges at roughly 3000 amps or 3000 milliamps. Alright, so 1.35, let's check Ampere. 1270, slightly inaccurate. Charge meter. 1304, 1340, which is roughly exactly the same. So 1350 is what it's reporting on the USB charger adapter. Let's jump to Accu battery. Saying 1262. Alright, so in this case we can see that no matter what third-party charger I use, I'm limited to 1.35 amps by the phone. But I can check if I use the charger that came bundled with the Pixel. This is the charging cable and the charger that came bundled with the Pixel. Let's plug that in. We know this app is accurate. There you go. That's the charger that came with the Pixel. You can see it is the fastest, as I mentioned before in the video. And to get these speeds, you would need to actually buy a PD certified charger that has USB-C cable on both ends. Which may not be true in your case if you have a OnePlus or a Xiaomi charger, they still use USB Type A and higher amperage on 5 volt rail. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. As you can see, the hardware method is the most accurate one, but the software isn't that far off from the accuracy, and it just discounts the screen power consumption from the total power consumption. It shows the total charging speed, which might be helpful in some cases. Do you measure your charging speed using a different app that's shown in the video? Let me know down in the comments, or the fastest charger you ever used in your whole entire life. Anyway guys, smash that like button if this video helped you. Consider subscribing and dinging that notification bell just down there. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.